Right. Good evening, everyone. Let's stay for another 2-3 minutes until others get connected, right? Okay, so let's begin the session, people. So last time we talked about the generations and how far the computer can like extend their hand to have a marvelous technologies, right? So we know it is developing and researching. So like very near future, we will be like experiencing things which we just saw through the movies, right? So today we are going to commence the new lesson, which is the second lesson where we are going to talk about the computers, right? So like in the first lesson, we just talk about how data and information is related to each other, as well as the some of the history. Now today we are going to talk about the fundamentals of a computer system. So remember, people, now when it comes to the fundamentals of computer system, we are here to get to know about the computer. So there will be many different topics that you are going to realize or that you are going to face, right? So like you are going to get to know about the parts inside the computer. and how these things are interrelated to each other, right? And what are the classifications, right? And how a computer network works in very simple terms, right? So that is the things that we are going to learn from this lesson, right? So very firstly, uh, they are talking about the topic which describes what is a computer. So like in general, if someone asks that question from us, what is a computer, we don't have any exact definition to say. නේද? හරියටම අපිට කියන්න බෑ computer කියන්නේ මොකක්ද කියලා නිසා. If someone asks from you, like you will say that is the most what favorite device in the house, right? Or like some may say that's kind of my life, like when it comes to the smartphones and tabs and all these things, but uh, which should not be, right? And again, there is a standard definition which describes what is a computer. That is described in your second paragraph, as it says, a computer can be described as an electronic device. It is an electronic device which accepts or collect data, process them according to the given instruction and the procedures. According to the given instruction and produce the desired output. Yeah, so the desired output is like expecting from the user, right? So that is why we are using a computer, right? So like it describes by the Charles Babbage in 1960s, right? Like this device is going to have inputs and will do process and will do some output, and if it wants, it can store. The very same concept still exists in the world regarding a computer, right? If you just imagine any computer that you know, it always does taking things, that means inputting, processing things, then outputting the results, right? So it's better you remember what is the definition regarding the computer, right? uh, it is very rare that the paper is asking like define and computer, but for your term test and like in the first 10 second terms, there will be some questions, right? So it's better you know, right? And then it is talking about some features, some specific features regarding the computer, right? So the first feature is the speed. So now when it comes to the speed, computer is something that process or executes millions and billions. Now nowadays it's billions, not millions as well, in billions instructions per second. Now think about your brain, right? If you are given, like, forget about the billion number, if you are given 10 instructions per second, it is hard for you to compile, right? මනුස්සයෙකුට දුන්නොත් නේද උපදෙස් 10ක් තප්පරයකට කරන්න කියලා, it's very hard to execute, right? Because we consume some time to understand that. But unlike us, the computer has the ability to execute billions of instructions per second. Now think how fast it is. And in that aspect, the computer is very, very distant from the human brain, right? Distance means like way ahead, right? We are behind, and computer is way ahead from us. Right? But it is regarding the execution, right? Now, when it comes to the feelings, the intelligence, the decision making, and that kind of things, still computer is way behind than the man, right? Or the brain, right? Because computer scientists are trying to develop a computer which can act as a man for a long time now, right? So that is the dream of the fifth generation. Like they have came some, or like they have achieved some certain points. You have witnessed some videos, I've shown you some in the last week, right? So they have advanced in some aspects. But as a big picture, as a complete picture, it is not much advanced as the human brain. But when you are filter the execution කියන එක අපි පෙරලා අරගත්තොත් ක්‍රියාත්මක කිරීම කියන එක විතරක් සැලකුවොත් like computer is way ahead than the human brain, right? And the accuracy, and we know from a calculator, like if the circuit works perfectly, it gives us the output in an accurate manner, right? So like that accuracy is always matched and always like guaranteed, right? But the inputs should be given in a correct manner, or the circuit should be like done according to the correct method. Otherwise, like it will do some jeopardizing things, or like it will mixing up the output if the circuit or the in given input data is wrong. But due to a correct inputs, it will definitely give an accurate output, right? And in the aspect of efficiency, the fact of efficiency, it is correlated or like co-bound with the speed, right? So doing something speed means happening things quickly. So happening things quickly means increase in the efficiency, right? And again, like that efficiency is a constant, එක නියතයි නේද? Because if you take a man to do some work in his best efficiency, like අපි හිතුවොත් දවසේ වැඩ කරන මිනිස්සෙක්, in the morning time they have the best efficiency. When it comes to the evening times, their efficiency gets reduced. Unlike human, the computers are not getting tired, right? So you witness the robo arms is making the Mercedes-Benz on the factory, right? So if all the components and all the powers are placed in a correct manner, those robo arms will work until they die, right? Die means like until they're disconnected from the power, right? So only thing we have to do is the maintenance. So if the maintenance are up to date, the computer will give you the highest and the best efficiency at a work, right? Unlike a person, නේද? අපි කිව්වොත් මිනිස්සෙකුට පැය 24ක් වැඩ කරන්න කියලා. Like sometimes a man will work with a good stamina, but then day after he won't be able to. අපි පැය 24ක් එකට වැඩ කරලා පැය 48කටත් continue කරන්න කිව්වොත් definitely we are going to at some point we are going to come up to our levels, and we will be like resting or sleeping or whatever the things we need to have that, right? Yes. Isita, I will, right? So but when it comes to the machines, they never fed up. ඒගොල්ලෝ කවදාවත් මහන්සි වෙන්නේ නැහැ, right? So efficiency කියන එක අපි සිංහලෙන් කියන්නේ කොහොමද? කාර්යක්ෂමතාව කියලා. ඒ කියන්නේ කොච්චර වේගකින් වැඩේ සිද්ධ වෙනවද කියන එක, right? Accuracy කියන එකට අපි සිංහලෙන් කතා කරන්නේ මොකක් කියලාද? නිර්වද්‍යතාවය, right? So that is what you call accuracy. නිවැරදිද, නිර්වද්‍යතාවය කියන එක තමයි accuracy. නිවැරදි බව, right? So accuracy and efficiency are two factors, and the next one is versatility, right? So that means having the ability to perform many different works simultaneously. එකම වෙලාවෙදී වැඩ කීපයක්, simultaneous කියලා කියන්නේ එක විට කියන එක, right? So එකම වෙලාවෙදී වැඩ කීපයක් කිරීමේ හැකියාව, right? Having the ability to perform many tasks simultaneously. Now if you think about my computer here, right over here, what you can see on the screen, now I am having a video conference call with you through Zoom, and I have opened a word processing software which is called the Word, and the PDF is there, and my folder structure is there, right? So now it is something what we like, it is an example that the computer is performing many different tasks at the same time. දැන් ඒක manually ඕගලන්ට කරන්න කිව්වොත් හිතන්නකෝ. නේද? මැනුවලි කරන්න කිව්වොත් ඔයගලන්ට කියනවා කෝල් එකක් ගන්න ගමන් තව වැඩකුත් කරගෙන තව වැඩ කීපයක් කරන්න කියලා. Right? So that's going to be like at some point it's going to be a problem නේද? අපිට සමහරලාට අපි කෝල් එකක් ගන්න ගමන් තව වැඩක් කරගන්න පුළුවන්. නමුත් like අපිට වැඩ කීපයක් කරන්න කියලා කිව්වොත් ඒක එච්චරම ලේසි වෙන්නේ නැහැ. Right? Isita, you can refer the Sinhala words Puta from the Sinhala PDF if you download it. But for the versatility, it says Bahukarya Bhava. Bahukarakshamatāva කියන එක නෙමෙයි පුතේ. Bahukarya කියන එක. Right? Okay, so now this versatility, yeah, as I told you, it is talking about doing many tasks simultaneously. So that means at the same time. එකම වෙලාවෙදී වැඩ ගොඩක් සිද්ධ කිරීම. And the last factor, the special factor, is storing and retrieving. Now, when it comes to the storing and retrieving, computer and these devices are doing a very nice work because they have these storage devices, so they can store the things what we have done. So like if you are playing a game, if you install a game and you play it, you can save it. And then you save it and you do the, then you can continue the game from the point that you have saved. So if you are doing an assignment, you open a Word document, you type it, and you save it. So from tomorrow, you can continue the place that you have stopped, right? So we can do the same thing with a book as well. පොතකයි computer එකකයි තියෙන වෙනස මොකක්ද? So like, unlike a book, we can change the content of the computer. නේද? අපිට Word document එකක් නම් තියෙන්නේ අපිට අනවශ්‍යව delete කරන්න පුළුවන්. අලුතෙන් අතරමැද්දට දේවල් add කරන්න පුළුවන්. We can format it. We can modify it, right? But when it comes to a manual book, it is not possible, right? Once we've written something, that's all. If we are going to replace anything, so we have to like paste a paper or something have to be done, right? But when it comes to the computer, storing and retrieving is a special fact, right? එතකොට අපිට පුළුවන් ගබඩා කරන්න and retrieve, නැවත ලබා ගන්න, right? So it can be considered as a special feature of a computer and the computer kind of devices. Right, people, is that clear? තේරුණාද කියපු දේවල් ටික? Yes, everyone, can you please confirm whether it is clear or not? Right, okay. Right, great. All right. Okay, so we are going to write down the notes, right? So you better start it from a new page saying fundamental of computer. ඔයගොල්ලෝ පොතේ units වෙන් කරනකොට පුළුවන් නම් මෙන්න මෙහෙම පුරුද්දක් තියාගන්න. එක කොලයක් හිස් පිටුවක් විදිහට අයින් කරන්න. එතකොට ඔයගොල්ලන්ට හරි පැහැදිලි කොතනින් කොතනටද unit එකක් වෙන් වෙන්නේ කියලා. පළවෙනි පාඩම අපි ඉවරයිනේ. එතකොට එක හිස් කොලයක් අයින් කරලා ඊට පස්සේ දෙවෙනි කොලේ ලියා ගන්න. right? ඉස්සර නම් නේද අපි කරනකොට අපි සාමාන්‍යයෙන් ඔය ඒ වෙන් කරන කොලේ ලස්සන පින්තූරයක් එහෙම අඳිනවා. Right? So you can do it if you want. Right? That is how I maintain the notes, right? So you can have the topic, the second lesson, fundamentals of computer system, and you can write the subtopic straight away. What is a computer? Right? So fundamentals of computer system is the main heading, and the first subtopic is what is a computer. People, තාමත් ඉන්නවද පොත් හම්බෙච්ච නැති දුවල පුතාලා? If anyone is here, just indicate me. Okay, දෙන්නෙක් අත ඉස්සුවා. So I think those children does not have it. All right, okay. No, never mind. Don't worry. Okay, so under the subtopic, what is a computer, you only need to copy down this particular thing, right? So that particular definition, it's better you write that particular definition regarding what is a computer, right? හරි මම දැන් මේ කියන දේ මම නැවත නැවත කියනවා ඔයගලන්ට මම කියන එක තේරෙන්නේ නැත්නම් මොකක් හෝ හේතුවක් නිසා you can ask that, right? එහෙම අහන දුවල පුතාලා ඉන්නවා. ඒක හොඳයි එහෙම අහන එක. So you ask it and clear it, right? Okay. So subtopic, what is a computer, and this definition. Let me know once you are done. Right. So if you are done, we have to write the features. So have a small subheading called features of a computer. Features of a computer. And yeah, I'll tell you what to be written, right? So features of a computer. So we'll let's extract the things from the table, right? So write the subheading features of a computer. Then you can mark the first point. You don't need to like draw it as a table. You can like write it point by point. So the first point, speed, and put a hyphen. Table එක එපා ඉසිත මම මේ කියන විදිහට ලියාගමු, right? Heading එක features of a computer. So then පළවෙනි point එක, it's the speed, and put a dash, right? පොඩි ඉරි කැලක් ගහලා අපි මම මේ කියන එක ලියාගන්න. Yeah, it's better you copy this down. It executes more than 1 million. Like after the million word, put a stroke and say billion. right? 1 million or billion instructions per second, right? So speed dash, it executes more than 1 million slash billion instructions per second. Yes, million and billion කියන දෙකම ලියනවා. million කියන එකත් ලියනවා. billionaire කියන එකත් ලියනවා. Right? So the second point, accuracy, and it's better you copy down the entire sentence regarding the accuracy. Accuracy කියලා ලියලා පොඩි ඉරි කෑල්ලක් ගහලා ඔය සම්පූර්ණ වාක්‍යම ලියා ගන්න. Regarding the efficiency, do the same. Accuracy and efficiency වල accuracy නම ලිව්වා, එයාගේ description එක ලියාගත්තා. Efficiency නම ලිව්වා, එයාගේ description එක ලියාගත්තා. accuracy එකේ ඔක්කොම ටික ලියන්න ඕනේ සිත. ඒ තියෙන සම්පූර්ණ වාක්‍යෙම ලියන්න. මේ තියෙන සම්පූර්ණ වාක්‍යෙම efficiency එකේ ඒ තියෙන සම්පූර්ණ වාක්‍යෙම. Okay, one is finished. How about the others? Right. Okay. Yeah, we have to do a regarding the versatility. It's the first sentence only. So write the versatility and the very first sentence. A computer can be used to perform many tasks simultaneously. Right? Simultaneously means at the same time. And as the fifth point, write just storing and retrieving. That's all. You are not going to write the description. It's just the storing and retrieving as the fifth point. Right, great. One is done. How about the others?
Sir, fourth one එක මේ ලියන්න ඕන කොයි විදිහට?
ඒකෙ පුතේ පළවෙනි වාක්‍ය විතරයි. versatility ලියලා ඉරි කෑල්ලක් ගහලා මේ පළවෙනි වාක්‍ය විතරයි. fifth එක storing and retrieving විතරයි. description එකක් නෑ. Right, it seems lot have finished the work, so we are going to proceed. Right, so I'm moving forward. Right, so now we are going to talk about how to classify the computers. Now, people, when it comes to the classification, it's not just the types of computer that we see. Right now, if I ask you what are the types of computers that you know, you will say like you know about laptops, you know about desktops, you know about tablets, smartphones, those kind of things. Those are types that we know. But when it comes to the classification sees much broader picture. ලොකු පින්තූරයක් දකිනවා ඒගොල්ලෝ කෙනෙක් classification එක ගොඩක් පළල්ව ඒගොල්ලෝ පෙන්නනවා. Right, so those classification majorly do in two different methods. First one is according to the physical size. අපිට ඇහැට පේන ප්‍රමාණය අනුව physical size. And the next one is according to the technology. නේද? ඒගොල්ලෝ පාවිච්චි කරලා තියෙන තාක්ෂණයට අනුව. Right? So when it comes to the physical size, there are four major categories. Right? So we call supercomputers, mainframe computers, mini computers, and microcomputers. Like, believe people, like the computers that we use are categorized on the category which is called the microcomputers. Right? Again, antima category. So there are three types of categories that general public like is not going to involve with. Right? Again, එදිනෙදා වැඩවලට අපි පාවිච්චි කරන්නේ microcomputers. Right? Okay, so let me tell you about these things. Then we have to see some nice videos regarding these things. I'm going to show you what a supercomputer and how a mainframe is going to work, right? Okay, I think someone has done a mistake. Let me clear that out. Hold on.
Sorry, sir.
No
Sorry,
problem, no
sir.
problem. I can see that. No worries, no worries. Right. So now when it comes to the classification of physical size, the first one we are talking about the supercomputers. Now, the supercomputers, remember people, we can't means it is kind of impossible to have a supercomputer at home. Because supercomputers are made for specific things, right? Like to solve complex mathematical problems, or to do some scientific research or engineering functions, right? Or like the aerospace related projects, right? දැන් අපි අඟහරු වලට ඔයගොල්ලෝ දැක්කනේ පහුගිය දවස්වල නේද? ඒගොල්ලෝ යානයක් යවලා තියෙනවා. So those kind of things can be handled with a supercomputer. Now, why we call that computer a super one? Because literally, වචනේ ඇත්තටම කිව්වොත් they are super computers, right? Because they have these a very big processing powers, like comparing to our our computers, the computers that we use. Supercomputers are super speed, right? අපිට speed එක ගැන හිතන්න බෑ. Like I think you know the character, Marvel character called Flash, නේද? Flash high end දුවනකොට තරමට අපිට දුවා ගන්න බෑනේ. So Flash is just a flash, right? So it's like that. So our computer is related to us. Supercomputer is related to the Flash. So it is that speed, right? And it has a very big processing power, right? Like when the video goes on, just see they will talk about the features of the supercomputer in detail, and you will be like mesmerized by seeing those things. නේ එහෙම තියනවාද කියලා අපිට හිතා ගන්න බැරි වෙනවා, right? Okay, so those are called the supercomputers. So remember, it is big in size, it is very costly, and it consumes a very big power. You will see how big that they are going to consume the electricity. And again, we can't even think about of having that, right? So those are called the supercomputers. And when it comes to the mainframe, comparatively, mainframes are smaller than the supercomputers. But comparing to the other computers, the personal computers that we are using, still mainframes are like very big. It's like supercomputers are a big flash, and a mainframe computer is like a mini flash. නේද? Sonic දැකලා තියෙනවා නේද? Sonic cartoon character එක අර කැරකි කැරකි යන නිල් පාට එක්කලා ඉන්නේ. So it is small in size, but it is speed as flash, right? එතකොට supercomputer එක flash කියලා හිතුවම mainframe computer එක නිකන් Sonic එක වගේ, right? So still we are very slow, right? And these mainframe computers, why we use these mainframe computers? Now supercomputers are focused on one particular thing. නේද? ඒගොල්ලෝ military purposes base කරගෙන ඉන්න පුළුවන්. ඔය FBI, CIA වගේ නැත්නම් Pentagon වගේ institutes ගත්තම, so they are just focusing on the security. So that supercomputer is focusing on that particular thing. So when it comes to the mainframe computers are not focusing just one single thing, but it will perform small things but big in number. පොඩි දේවල් ගොඩාක් කරනවා, right? Then like if you consider about a website like eBay website එක ගැන අහලා තියෙනව නේද? It is the biggest e-commerce platform. Transaction සිද්ධ වෙන, electronic transaction සිද්ධ වෙන, electronics ගනුදෙනු සිද්ධ වෙන ලොකුම platform එක තමයි eBay කියලා අපි කියන්නේ. So eBay is having billions of sellers, and again there are customers in the very same amount. නෑ ඇත්තටම customers ලා ප්‍රමාණය වැඩි sellers ලා ප්‍රමාණයට සාපේක්ෂව ගත්තම නේ. අපි හැමෝම ගිහිලා purchase කරනවා eBay එකේ, right? So there are sellers, there are the customers, right? So එක දවසක් ගත්තොත් එක මොහොතක් ගත්තොත් එක තප්පරයක් ගත්තොත් there are many number of transactions are happening, but those are very small transactions but happen in a very big time or like in big amount. කෙනෙක් ප්‍රමාණයෙන් ගොඩක් ලොකුයි. දැන් phone cover එකක් නම් මම මිලදී ගන්නෙ, so there will be like millions of people purchasing a phone cover for the same time, right? අපි සලකන පොඩි වෙලාවට. So mainframes are capable of handling those kind of transactions. ඒගොල්ලන්ට පුළුවන් පොඩි transactions ගොඩාක් එක සැරේ maintain කරගන්න. So because of that, these large scale companies as well as these people who are maintaining e-commerce website like big in size, like very big e-commerce websites like eBay, are having a computer which we call the mainframe computers. So it is again a powerful computer, but not that powerful as supercomputers. But comparing to our computers, still mainframe is very powerful, and it is big in size, comparatively smaller than the supercomputer, and costly comparing to our personal computers. It is very costly, and computer power comparing to our personal computers, it is very powerful still, but not that powerful as the supercomputers, right? The supercomputers තමයි ලොකුම brother ඒ family එකේ ලොකුම එක්කෙනා. එයා තමයි ගොඩක් powerful. ඊට වඩා ටිකක් power එක අඩුයි mainframe computers වලට. And there is another, there are two more brothers, right? The other one, we call him the mini computers, right? Mini computers. Now these mini computers are capable of handling like small amount of computer terminals. Then like think about a banking network, right? නේද? එක බැංක් එකක් අරගත්තොත් බැංක් එක ඇතුලේ තියෙන කම්පියුටර්ස් ටික මේන්ටේන් කරගෙන ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ ඩීටේල් ටික securely තියාගෙන එහෙම manage කරගන්න, they use a mini computer, right? It is not that powerful like the mainframe, but still comparing to our computer, still this is fast, very fast and very capable of. ඔගොල්ලෝ සමහර වෙලාවට දැකලා ඇති සමහර තැන්වල idea එකක් ඔයගලන්ට chance එකක් ඇවිල්ලා තියෙනවා නම් අර size එකෙන් ගොඩාක් ලොකු computer එකක්, ඒ කියන්නේ system unit එකක් පේන්න තියෙනවා, right? Now people remember, now when we are talking about the terms like supercomputers, mainframe, mini computers කිව්වම අපේ මේ ගෙදර තියෙන computer එක වගේ කියලා පින්තූරේ මවා ගන්න එපා. අපේ ගෙදර දැන් desktop එකක ඔයගොල්ලෝ දැකලා තියෙනවනේ system unit එක, අර black ලොකු box එක තියෙන්නේ. අන්න ඒ වගේ ලොකු box එකක්, නැත්නම් ලොකු box එකක් නෙමෙයි, ලොකු කාමරයක්, ලොකු structure එකක් තමයි ඔය super mainframe and mini computers වලට තියෙන්නේ. ඒක අපිට specific monitor එකක්, ඒ කියන්නේ දැන් අපේ computer එකට system unit එකක් තියෙනවා and a monitor is there. එහෙම setup එකක් නෙවෙයි super and mainframe and mini computers වලට තියෙන්නේ. It's just a separate system unit, something little bit bigger than the other ones, and it can serve to many different terminals, many different monitors or many different systems, right? Then ඔගොල්ලෝ නේද අපි e-commerce website එකක් ගත්තොත් නේද ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ mainframe එක එක තැනක තියෙනවා, ලෝකෙ ඉන්න හැමෝම මේ mainframe එකත් එක්ක connected, right? ඒතකොට ලෝකෙ ඉන්න හැමෝගෙම computers අර කියන තනි mainframe computer එකත් එක්ක connect වෙනවා to do that particular transaction. So mini computer එකට ආවම number of terminals are getting lesser than the mainframe. Mainframe එකට අපි හිතමුකෝ නේද terminals එක සැරේ ලක්ෂයක් පුළුවන් කියලා. So when it comes to the mini computers, it is less in number, like 20s, 30s or 40s kind of things. But still that particular computer, mini computer එක දැන් මේ කියන පින්තූරේ මේ මැද්ද මේ පහළ ඔයගලන්ට දකින්න හම්බෙන්නේ mini computer එක. මේ උඩ තියෙන monitors ටිකට අපි කියන්නේ terminals කියලා. Right? ඒ හැම එක්කෙනාම maintain වෙන්නේ this particular mini computer. Right? So it is capable of handling like more than one terminal. Right? So that kind of a computer is called a mini computer. Right? So these things are being used inside the medium scale institutions such as banks and all these things, right? And the one we use, or like the things that we use, are category under the microcomputers. So remember, whatever the computer that we use is under this particular category, microcomputer. So regardless of a desktop, laptop, tab, smartphone, palm tops, all kind of things are belong in this category, the microcomputers. So they are small, they are less expensive comparing to the other three categories, and they are less in speed. Even though we don't feel that slow our computer is, comparing to the super mainframe and mini computers, these things are very, very small and very, very slow, right? And the capability, right? The capability is also like comparing to the other three categories are very less. දැන් අපිට ඒක තේරෙන්නේ නැහැ. අපේ කම්පියුටර් එක අපිට හිතෙන්නේ ඔක්කොම දේවල් ටික කරගන්න පුළුවන් කියලා. Because our scope is very little. අපිට පේන්නේ අපිට කරගන්න ඕන ටික විතරයි. But if we compare it with the outer world, then we can realize what we are going to, like the things that we are doing in our computer is very less. handheld කියලා කියන්නේ ඉසිත අතට ගත හැකි කියන එක, right? මොකද දැන් අපිට තියෙනවනේ එක එක වර්ග, ලැප්ටොප් තියෙනවා, නෝට්බුක් එක කියලා තියෙනවා, ලැප්ටොප් එකට වඩා පොඩ්ඩක් පොඩි ටයිප් එකක්. ඊට පස්සේ palm tops කියලා තියෙනවා, palm top එකක් මම පෙන්නන්නම් ඔයගලන්ට. ඒ කියන්නේ ෆෝන් එකකට වඩා ටැබ් එකකට වැඩිය ටිකක් ලොකුයි, but laptop එකකට වැඩිය පොඩි. So we have tabs, we have smartphones, right? ඉස්සර තව තිබුණා ඒගොල්ලෝ පාවිච්චි කරනවා PDA කියලා එකක්, personal I don't remember PDA කියලා තමයි ඒකට කෙටියෙන් කිව්වේ. So those kind of things, everything is categorized under the microcomputers, right? Okay, people, is that clear? Categories හතර clearද? හතර දෙනෙක් ඉන්නවා size එකෙන්. එතකොට size එකෙන් ලොකුම එක්කෙනා කවුද? It's a supercomputer, right? cost එකෙන් වැඩිම කෙනා කවුද? It's a supercomputer. expensive කෙනා supercomputer, right? power consumptions වැඩිපුරම ගන්න කවුද? supercomputer, right? ඊළඟට speed එක්කෙනා කවුද? supercomputer, right? So from supercomputer to mainframe, it's getting a little bit lesser, right? Okay, I'll show you the one of the great supercomputers in the world, right? Now this is very interesting video, right? Just see it, and I need to share your screen with the sound. Hear this.
Sentence is grammatically correct. But why do we need such fast computers?
It has tangible results.
Let's go from the beginning. No problem, is it? People,
The race for the world's
what
fastest
you are witnessing
supercomputer
is a
is on.
supercomputer. Look
China
how
held the
big
lead
it
for the
is.
last 5 years, but the United States has surged ahead with Summit. It's a $200 million government-funded.
Yeah, now people, it's 200 million government-funded supercomputer. So the cost is $200 million, right? So it's like 200 million is a big number, but dollar, like it is like 187 rupees nowadays, right? So like 200 into 187 kind of things. Like, it's very big number, right?
Supercomputer built for Oak Ridge National Laboratory in partnership with IBM and NVIDIA. But what is a supercomputer?
Yes, people, wait.
Today's supercomputers are comprised of thousands of connected processors, and their speed has grown exponentially over the past few decades. The first supercomputer, released in 1964, was called the CDC 6600. It used a single processor to achieve 3 million calculations.
I need to take the subs. Yeah. I'll go from here.
Today's supercomputers are comprised of thousands of connected processors, and their speed has grown exponentially over the past few decades. The first supercomputer, released in 1964, was called the CDC 6600. It used a single processor to achieve 3 million calculations per second. While that may sound impressive, it is tens of thousands of times slower than an iPhone.
If you have a smartphone,
Yeah.
While that may
Did
sound
you-
impressive, it is
Did you capture that thing? So
processor to achieve 3 million
we talk about
calculations.
this one, neither. CDC 6600. It is the first supercomputer in 1960s. And this video says it is less powerful than the smartphone that we are using today. 1960 ගණන් වලදී එයාගේ powerfulness එක අද පාවිච්චි කරන ෆෝන් එකට වැඩිය ටිකක් අඩුයි. Right?
Per second. While that may sound impressive, it is tens of thousands of times slower than an iPhone.
if you
Tens and
have a
thousands of times.
smartphone, it is more powerful than the supercomputer that we had back in 1995 doing human genome.
Today, Summit consists of over 36,000 processors from IBM and NVIDIA.
Yeah, people just a second. I need to hide this desktop. It's not getting hidden. I don't know why.
That can perform 200 quadrillion calculations per second.
What a typical computer will do in 30 years, this machine will do in an hour.
Now that's an interesting fact. A typical computer do what a typical computer do in 30 years. This computer do it within 1 hour.
Summit takes up 5,600 square
yeah.
feet of
Look at
floor
these
space
facts.
and has nearly 200 miles of cable. It uses 4,000 gallons of water per minute to stay cool and consumes enough power to run 8,000 homes.
People, those are some very interesting facts. The size of it, 5,600 square feet of floor space. So now it's like a complete building of your school, right? ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ section එක වගේ ලොකුයි. And it uses 185 miles of cables. Like 185 miles means like it's almost 300 kilometers, right? Cables තියෙනවා kilometer 300ක් දිග. 300කට එකතු වෙන කෙනෙක්. like එකතුව kilometer 300ක් දිග. And look at this, 4,000 GPM. Now GPM means gallons per minute. Now that is used because to cool up this thing, right? අපේ computer එක වැඩ කරනකොට රත් වෙනවා. ඒක ඔයගොල්ලෝ experience කරලා ඇති, right? So our computers are having just one particular process, and this giant is having 36,000 of it. 36,000, right? And to cool that thing down, they use 4,000 gallons per minute. එක මිනිත්තුවකට වතුර ගැලුම් 4,000ක් යවලා තමයි ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ cooling system එකෙන් they are going to cool this thing out. And look at the power consumption. It says it consumes the power to run 8,000 homes. ගෙවල් 800කට පාවිච්චි කරන්න පුළුවන් විදුලියක්. Right?
But why do we need such fast computers?
It has tangible results in terms of how it helps society at large. It will translate into better appliances, better security systems, better delivery of power, more efficient homes. Every aspect of life, it'll change.
Supercomputers are used across all sectors, forecasting weather and climate trends, simulating nuclear tests, performing pharmaceutical research, and cracking encryption keys. Summit is the first supercomputer designed for artificial intelligence applications, and researchers plan to use Summit for AI projects that could identify genetic predispositions to cancer or opioid addiction. By surpassing China, the US has escalated the tech rivalry between the two countries.
There's no question the race is on.
Yeah, so it describes for what kind of things that this is being used. So like for aerospace things and these genetical experiments kind of things, artificial intelligence, right? And pharmaceutical experiments, right? Those kind of things, right?
But this is not the space race. This is the race to knowledge.
But faster supercomputers are already on the horizon. The European Union, Japan, and China are all developing machines they say will outperform Summit. The next big frontier is exascale computing. That is, computers that can perform 1 billion times 1 billion calculations per second.
The use of this machine is only going to be limited by the imagination of the scientists who will have access to this machine.
Okay, so that is the story about Summit. the computer's name is Summit, right? And it is done by the America, as I quote. So the other three countries, the giants, the China and some other two countries, are researching to pass this one, like overcome, like to have a better supercomputer than this Summit, right? So that is about the supercomputers, people. All right. Okay, so let's write down something නේද? ඊට පස්සේ අපි තව වීඩියෝ එකකට යමු. Right. Yes, is it what you are saying is true? ඒ කාලේ අර CDC 6600 කියන එක්කෙනා ගොඩක් දියුණුයි. කියන්නේ අපේ අද තියෙන ෆෝන් එකකට වැඩිය thousands times low වුණත්, but regarding like comparing to that era, it is very advanced. That is why it is called a supercomputer, right? All right, people. So have the heading classification of computers, and it's better you have this diagram. මේ diagram එකේ මගේ මෙතන according to physical size වෙන්න ඕනේ. මෙතන මේ වචන ටික එක උඩ එක ගිහිලා තියෙනවා. So the orange color one is according to physical size, and the other one is according to technology. So put the heading classification of computers, then the diagram. Hasita, it's the heading should be written classification of computers, then draw the diagram, Puta. That's all. Draw the diagram. Later we are going to write about the supercomputers and all these things, right? So it's the heading and the diagram. May put the diagram එක ඇඳ ගන්න. Okay, someone is finished. How about the others? So I'm moving a little bit upward. I will keep the diagram, no worries. And the people who have finished this have the heading classification according to the physical size. And the first subheading is supercomputers under that. Don't write anything, I'll tell you the points. Just have the subheading classification according to the physical size and the supercomputer under that. Okay. Yeah, people. So can we move? So I'm going to read about the supercomputers, right? So, right. So classification according to the physical size. Under that, put Roman number 1 and supercomputers. I'm going to tell what to be written under that. Yeah, let's take it like this. Yeah, the first point is the very first sentence. These computers have higher computing power. That's the first point. These computers have higher computing power. And the next point, large in size. That is the second point, large in size. Third point, expensive. 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 And the fourth point, rare. Rare කියලා කියන්නේ දුර්ලභයි කියන එක. හොයාගන්න අපහසුයි. Rare. And the next point is going to start like this. Used for scientific and engineering functions and to solve complex mathematical problems. Okay, one is done. How about others? All right. Okay, so that's regarding the supercomputers. Let's watch something regarding mainframes, then we can come for the write-ins, right? So this is a video about a mainframe. Like I have two videos. මේ දෙකේම technical දේවල් කතා කරන එක වැඩි. So I'm just showing this video to you to show how a mainframe looks alike. යා මොන වගේද කියලා පෙන්වන්න මම ඔයගලන්ට මේක දෙන්නේ. Right? So we are not going to see the entire video, right? But let's just see how's the mainframe. Now you have the
It does a lot more than blinking lights. So, you know,
yeah,
an
you
airplane,
have
right?
that
You ever seen the cockpit?
picture of
Full of.
the supercomputer, neither.
Hi, I'm Esmeralda
So this is a
Quintana. I'm a
mainframe.
ZOS performance analyst here at the Poughkeepsie site. I just want to show you one of the machines I work on. So, come. So this is a Z14 double wide.
Yeah, so this is a mainframe. So now it's very much look like the supercomputer, but it's small in size, right? So this is inside of it.
All right. So I could probably live in this thing. At a glance, we'll get into it, but this is
Right, so here you can see like she will explain the things, some technical terms.
power we have behind this I/O. More power with this IC up there, I/O, and our processors.
Yeah, so see, these are called processors. Then සාමාන්‍යයෙන් එක computer එකකට තියෙන්නේ අපි පාවිච්චි කරන computer එකකට තියෙන්නේ it's just one processor. But this has like neither several dozens of processors, right?
So we're gonna move the IC out the way. So up here, this is our power supply. We have two batteries up here. Something to know about the batteries is, you know, they're kind of small. They do a very specific job. If power goes out, we want to make sure that we complete transactions in flight, right? Because data integrity is incredibly important to us.
Yeah, එයා එතන කියන්නේ like that power, these batteries are there to power up this computer when the current is out, right? Then power cut එකකදී මේක power up කරලා තියාගන්න තමයි batteries දෙක තියෙන්නේ. So the reason that she is telling is, I told you these mainframes are used to maintain the transactions, e-commerce transactions වලට තමයි මෙයා ගොඩක් බලපාන්නේ. එතකොට දැන් අපි හිතන්නකො මම watch එකක් purchase කරනවා eBay එකෙන්. මම watch එකට pay කර කර ඉන්නකොට මේගොල්ලෝ server එක තියෙන තැන current එක disconnect වෙනවා. So if something like that has happened, මේ computer එක off වුණොත් සමහර විට මට සල්ලි ටික නැති වෙන්න පුළුවන්. මං ගෙවුවා වුණාට අතරමඟදී මගේ data එක loss වෙනවා. So it is not recording to their computer. So they will say you have not paid, but in my side I have done the payment, right? So to avoid those kind of things, අපි ඒවට කියනවා float එකේ තියෙන transactions කියලා, right? මේවා ඔයගලන්ගේ syllabus එකෙන් පිට දේවල් මම කියන්නේ, it's a general thing. So to save the transaction on the float, they use these batteries, right?
Us and you, hopefully. All right. So over here, you see this nest of I/O. These are all PCIe I/O cards. You can see that we have a ton. We have even more on the back. There's some over there too. And if you just look at the rat's nest that goes down and fed into the bottom, these cards we have OSA, FICON. We even have ZDC for data compression. A lot of cards here doing a lot of jobs, moving a lot of data.
Yes, so basically what they are doing is they are just storing all the data of the transactions in these computers. Computers means in these system units, right? So they don't have a specific monitor kind of a thing. What she is interacting in here, on here, මෙතන මේ monitor එකක් වගේ පේන්න තියෙන්නේ, it's the one which is used to maintain this particular thing. එහෙම නැතුව කම්පියුටර් එක වැඩ කරන්න නෙවෙයි මෙයා ඉන්නේ. ඒක මේන්ටේන් කරගන්න මෙයාගේ තත්ත්වය කොහොමද කියලා බලන්න වෙනම ස්ක්‍රීන් එකක් තියෙනවා. The people who are involved in this with this mainframe is the people who lives all over the world. නේද? දැන් අපි purchase එකක් කරනකොට මමත් මේ mainframe එකක් එක්ක contact වෙනවා. Right? Over the internet. Right?
Now this side, as I promised, even more I/O cards. Like I said, more on the back.
Yeah, so she is talking about a lot of technical things. So it's like එක අපිට බර වැඩි, right? කවදා හරි දවසක ඔයා computer engineer කෙනෙක් වෙලා hardware engineer කෙනෙක් පැත්තට ගියොත් නේද? ඔයාටත් මේ වගේ තැනක වැඩ කරන්න හම්බුනොත්, so you will be lucky to have this kind of a mess, right? It's a lucky mess, right? සාමාන්‍ය මේවත් එක වැඩ කරන අය හරි කැමතියි මෙතනත් එක්ක වැඩ කරන්න, because they have a lot of technical knowledge regarding this, right? And I'll show you the other video. It is describing what happens with the mainframe, right? and this is done by some YouTuber, right?
I know you miss your devices, but there's a way you can see them again. Pulsewave's real-time remote monitoring and management app is.
What comes to mind when you hear the words big iron? Heavy construction? Extreme laundry? My nickname in high school? Well, it turns out that big iron is none of those things and usually refers to mainframe computers.
Big iron කියලා කියන්නේ mainframe computers වලට කියන තවත් නමක්, right?
Massive machines that typically live inside of large cabinets. Okay then, Linus, so you're talking about a supercomputer, right? Actually, no. Mainframes are defined a little differently. In our episode on supercomputers, which you can check out here, we discussed how they are great at number crunching to complete extremely complex tasks like weather forecasting, medical research, and cryptanalysis. But with mainframes, the focus is more on throughput and reliability. So what exactly does that mean?
Right, throughput කියලා කියන්නේ වැඩක් සිද්ධ වෙන්න ගත වෙන කාලයට. Right? Reliability කියලා කියන්නේ විශ්වසනීයත්වය කියන එකට. Right? එතකොට mainframe එකකින් වැඩිපුරම බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන්නේ ඔන්න ඔය දෙක. කියන්නේ throughput එක අඩු කරගන්න බලන්න පුළුවන් තරම්. ඒ කියන්නේ අපි payment එකක් කරාම ඒක ටක් ගාලා process වෙලා transaction එක සිද්ධ වෙලා ඉක්මනින් වැඩේ සිද්ධ වෙන්නේ. So that is what we call throughput. Right? And the reliability. So it like I said, like if my transaction is on the float regarding a power disconnection, I have the like the assurance මට සහතිකයක් තියෙනවා that my transaction will not get lost. It will be secured, right?
Well, compared to something like a supercomputer, mainframes have a lot more inputs and outputs, or I/O, because they're often deployed in situations where they aren't working on one massive complex problem, but rather they have to process tons of smaller, simpler transactions extremely quickly. In fact, even though there is a popular misconception that mainframes are relics of a bygone computing era, to process the up to millions of card swipes and account transfers that occurred daily, 96 out of the world's top 100 banks and 23 out of the top 25.
Yeah, no, that's a very interesting fact. In the previous one, it says 96 out of world top 100 banks and 23 out of top 25 US retailers. Walmart කියලා කියන්නේ supermarkets chain එක ගැන කියන්නේ. So mainframe කියන ඒවා පාවිච්චි වෙන්නේ වැඩිපුරම ඔය දෙකේදී, banks and supermarkets, right?
Currently run mainframes from IBM, who has been the dominant player in the industry for a very long time.
Yes, ඒකත් එක fact එකක්. IBM කියන company එක තමයි they are like the dominators කියලා කියන්නේ ඒකාධිකාරයක්. ඒගොල්ලෝ තමයි දිගටම mainframes හදන්නේ. ඒක ගොඩක් වෙලාවට technology wise කියන්නේ ඒගොල්ලෝ ගාව තමයි මේ technology එක තියෙන්නේ. Right? ඒක හරියට Coca-Cola company එක Coca-Cola හදනවා වගේ. Coca-Cola කියන එක ඒ taste එකට ඒ විදිහටම වෙන කාටවත් හදන්න බෑ because of the ingredients and the mixture that they have. So likewise, IBM has the solution to make the mainframes. ඒගොල්ලෝ තමයි ලොකු කාලයකට mainframes කියන ඒවා industry එකේ maintain කරන්නේ.
Time. Building one, though, isn't just a matter of installing a whack ton of Xeons in a box, plugging in lots of Ethernet cables, and calling it a day. Mainframes use special CPUs, many of which are much larger physically than even big desktop chips like 2011 socket CPUs from Intel, as well as additional processors called system assistance processors.
Yeah, so these are some technical things. ඒක අපි ඕක ගැන ලොකුවට කතා බහ කරන්න යන්නේ නැහැ. So the only thing I need you to show is how the mainframes look alike, right? And like what are the things that we are going to do those things, like what are the things that they are doing with those kind of computers, right? So let's get back to our notes, right? So mainframe computers, put the subheading, the second one, mainframe computers, and I'll tell you what to be written. හරි මට පොඩ්ඩක් ෆීඩ්බැක් එකක් දෙන්න මේ අපි කතා කරන දේවල් ක්ලියර් නේද? Right, great. Right, okay. All right, so regarding the mainframe computers, so the first point, you can say relatively less physical size, computing power, and less expensive than supercomputers. That is the first point. Relatively less physical size, computing power. So less physical size, less computing power, and less expensive than a supercomputer. That's going to be the first line. Right, so the second point, a number of users get connected to one computer using number of terminals, sharing, saving, and retrieving data. Yeah, people, just a second. I need to switch to the Sinhala one to clarify something. Yeah. Okay. So this is the second one. Right, the third point, write it like this: used in large-scale businesses, used in large-scale businesses, used in large-scale businesses, as well as in e-businesses, used in large-scale businesses as well as in e-businesses, transactions done using internet. Transactions done using internet. Used in large-scale businesses as well as e-businesses, transactions done using internet. The mainframe වල තියෙන විශේෂත්වය තමයි ඒක. ඒගොල්ලෝ internet through වෙන transactions වලට තමයි involved වෙන්නේ. දැන් මම eBay එකෙන් මොනවා හරි දෙයක් purchase කරනවා කියලා කියන්නේ I need the internet. So I'm at my home, mainframe is somewhere else. So over the internet I am contacting with the mainframe. Right. Done, people? So we can write down the other two categories before we end the session today. Right, so we are going to write it in a little quicker manner. Right. So moving forward, so the third one is the mini computers. So write the subtopic mini computers. And you are going to copy this particular sentence, only the highlighted part. Lower in physical size, less powerful, less expensive than mainframe computers. And as the next point, you can say also called common purpose computers. Eka common purpose kirat kiyanawa, general purpose kirat kiyanawa, right? So that is the second point. Also called common purpose computers. Also called common purpose computers. And third point, easy to use. Easy to use. Easy to use. Easy to use. And fourth point, yeah, it's better you write this sentence. A few users get connected to the central computer and through a few terminals share data and information. Right. And the last point, it's better you write this as well. These computers used in medium scale institutions such as banks, as an example. These computers are used in medium scale institutions such as banks. Tiranya, the first point is this particular thing, lower in physical size, less powerful, less expensive than mainframe computers. That was the first point. Right. So people, if you are done, we are moving to write the things in the microcomputers as well. Right. So put the subheading microcomputers. Right. So microcomputers. So the first point, small computers meant for personal use. Small computers meant for personal use. Small computer meant for personal use. And the second point, small memory capacity. Third point, smaller in size. Let me kamawaling venkala thiyana tika points ala liya ganna, that's all. Small memory capacity. Next point, smaller in size. After that, less speedy. Dilmi, I'll come to your question. And less expensive. Less expensive. Then consume little electricity. And as the examples, write this laptop, handheld, smartphones as the examples. Yeah, so with that, I'm going to end the session, people. So I hope you had a very good idea about the categories regarding the physical size. Right, so next week we are going to talk about how it is going to be classified according to the technology. And we are going to move forward as well further than that, right? So thank you very much for participating today. So you finish your things and you can get disconnected, right? So have a good night, people, and thank you very much. Tell me about your problem, Dua. So you don't need to have McAfee and other Scan Plus, all these things in a one single laptop, Dua. So just one antivirus software is sufficient, Dua. You can use either McAfee and or Scan Plus, right? So like I really don't know whether the Scan Plus is an antivirus software. I don't have that in my mind, but if you're talking about two types of antivirus softwares, one is enough to it. And like if you got the Windows genuine operating system in your computer, so just Windows Defender will do the things for you. So you don't need any additional antivirus software to your computer. But it's better you keep it up to date. Okay, people, the people who are leaving, thank you very much. Good night. We'll meet on the next Friday for the same time.
Sir.
Right, okay. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you so much, sir.
Right, okay.
No, sir.
Right, okay, Dua. Good night.
Thank you, sir.
Right, Puta, thank you. Good night.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, Dua. Good night. Okay, good night.
Sir.
Yes, Dua.
Sir, මේ
Erde.
මුලින්ම McAfee ඇන්ටිවයිරස් එක තමා මේ කම්පියුටර් මේ ලැප්ටොප් එකට ගත්තේ. එනවාට මම Adobe එක මේ ඩවුන්ලෝඩ් කරද්දී ස්කෑන් ප්ලස් එක මම හිතන්නේ ඇවිත් තිබුණා.
ඕනේ පුතේ ඒවා ඔය ස්කෑන් ප්ලස් කියන එකෙන් එහෙම වෙන්නේ නැහැ. ඒක uninstall කරන්න දුව අර මේ දුව දන්නව නේද program uninstall කරන විදිය?
හරි සර්.
control panel එකට ගිහිල්ලා uninstall කරලා දාන්න දුව. එක antivirus software එකක් හොඳටම ඇති. නැත්තම් ඕක ඔයාගේ machine එකත් slow වෙන්න ගනී. ටික ටික දෙන්නෙක්ම scan කරන්න ගන්නවනේ. ඒක නිසා එකක් විතරක් තියාගන්න. McAfee එක active නම් McAfee එක තියාගන්න. ඒ ඇති හොඳටම.
හරි සර්, thank you.
හරි පුතේ. හරි okay, good night. Yes, Risara, you too. You stay safe too. Right, okay. Good night, and thank you.